مم.
وعن عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لكل غالب
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن أنس عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: لكل غادر لواء يوم القيامة يعرف به. متفق عليه. سيدنا Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrated that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, on the day of Qiyamah, that every deceitful person will have a banner and a flag that he will be recognized by, right? By it. It is if a person is deceitful and all these things. So it shows a severe sign and a great sign that one should stay away and abstain from these types of qualities and things.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عن أبي سعيد رضي الله تعالى عنه وعن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لكل غادر لواء عند يوم القيامة وفي رواية لكل غادر لواء يوم القيامة يعرف له بقدر قدره ألا ولا غادر أعظم غدرا من أمير عامة رواه مسلم.
Yes. Abu Sa'id.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وعن أبي سعيد رضي الله تعالى عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال for every treacherous person will be a plague on his bed on the day of Qiyamah. In another narration, for every treacherous person is a plague on the day of Qiyamah, which will be recognized for each because of the amount of his treacherous. They will behold for every treacherous which is breaking there is no one who is more greater in treacherous than the Amir of Shaitan.
عن أبي سعيد أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: لكل غادر لواء عند اسمه يوم القيامة. وفي رواية: لكل غادر لواء يوم القيامة يرفع له بقدر غدره ألا ولا غادر أعظم غدرا من أمير عامة. رواه مسلم. Sayyidina Abu Sa'id radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrated that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said on the day of Qiyamah that every deceitful person will have a banner and a flag set up by his backside. It's according to another narration that on the day of Qiyamah, resurrection, every deceitful person will have a banner set up aloft for him commensurate with the amount of deceit. That is in accordance to the amount of deceit that he has done and committed. That know well and behold that none is more deceitful, right, and more treacherous than a deceitful leader of a people, right? Min amiri ammatin, in a leader of a people of a nation.
الفصل الثاني عن عمرو بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه أنه قال لمعاوية الله سلام المسلمين تجب البناء والتي تجب الله بالحق جعل معاوية رضي الله تعالى عنه رجل على رئيس الناس وهو أبو داود في رواية النبي أغلق الله ذلك عن عمرو بن مرة رضي الله تعالى عنه نسيت معاوية فهذا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم هو الله يستسقي بيده إنما من نفس المسلمين and those who are used in poverty follow those from Muslims and the poverty Muawiyah is made a man, the leader, that Rasul is made to be a leader of Muslim people.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن عامر بن مرة أنه قال لمعاوية: سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول: من ولاه الله سبحانه وتعالى شيئا من أمر المسلمين فاحتجب دون حاجتهم وخلتهم وفقرهم احتجب الله دون حاجته وخلته وفقره فجعل معاوية رجلا على حوائج الناس. رواه أبو داود والترمذي. وفي رواية له ولأحمد: أغلق الله له أبواب السماء دون خلته وحاجته ومسكنته. Hazrat Muawiyah Amr ibn Murrah radiallahu ta'ala anhu reported, he saying that to Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that they heard Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam say that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts someone in authority and puts him in charge and puts him in trust and over some affairs of the Muslimin, but he shuts his door from seeing to their needs, seeing to their helplessness and their poverty, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn away from seeing to his needs and his helplessness and his poverty. And on that, Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala who placed a person, a special man, to look after the needs of the people for this very reason. Going to another version that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will shut the doors of heaven, right? And on his helplessness, right? And his poverty and his needs.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Pada Abi Shabbah al-Azdi radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, أنه من أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه أتى معاوية ودخل عليه فقال: سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول: من أوتي للناس شيئا ثم أغلق بابه دون المسلمين أو للمظلوم أو للحاجة أغلق الله دونه أبواب رحمته عند حاجته وفقره أخبر ما يفيد إليه. The authority of the Shammah al-Azdi, Allah be pleased with him, but the authority of the son of his maternal uncle from the companions of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that indeed came to Muawiyah and he entered upon him. He said, I heard Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that whoever is entrusted with the matters of the people in anything, then he closes the shut of his door against the Muslims or the oppressed ones, or those who are in need, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will shut against the doors of His mercy when He is in need and poverty or whatever is in from.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن أبي شماخ الأزدي عن ابن عم له من أصحاب النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه أتى معاوية فدخل عليه فقال: سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول: من ولي من أمر الناس شيئا ثم أغلق بابه دون المسلمين أو المظلوم أو ذي الحاجة أغلق الله دونه أبواب رحمته عند حاجته وفقره أفقر ما يكون إليه. سبحان الله. Sayyidina Abu Shammah al-Azdi radiallahu ta'ala anhu reported that one of his paternal cousins was a Sahabi radiallahu ta'ala of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said that he visited Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that he met him and he said to him that he had heard Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that he who is placed in some authority over some people, right, and he shuts his gate against the Muslim, right, or the oppressed or a needy person, denying the need, will find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also will shut against him the gates of his mercy, right? When he's in need or in poverty, how much ever he may be in need of him. SubhanAllah, there's also, like we said again, severe warning, all these, that we know that we are all always in the need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And this is the closest way to shut that door.
كان إذا بعث ماله شرط عليه ألا تركوا بدون وتأكلوا الدين فتهلكوا رحمة وتخرجوا أبوابا كثيرا إن فعلتم شيئا من ذلك فقد حلت بكم العقوبة ثم يشن العقوبة وعمل البيت فيه من شوق الله. سألت عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه. You see some of his workers some of these churches, the condition, they do not write except Arabian verses. They should not be widely, not be highly clothing. They should not close the doors. They need to need people. If you do anything like there is very proud and punishment in the senior company and the
نعم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه أنه كان إذا بعث عماله شرط عليهم أن لا تركبوا برذونا ولا تأكلوا نقيا ولا تلبسوا رقيقا ولا تغلقوا أبوابكم دون حوائج الناس فإن فعلتم شيئا من ذلك فقد حلت بكم العقوبة ثم يشيعهم رواهما البيهقي في شعب الإيمان that Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala is reported to have said that stipulated on his governors whenever he sent them right to the assignments, then they should not ride Turkish horses, eat white bread, wear fine clothing, or like shut their gates, or against the needs of the people. And others, when people require and have some needs, then try and the best to sort it out. So he warned them that if they did any of these things, right, then they would be liable to punishment. Now, after having given all these instructions, he walked with them to some distance and they would go further. So, yeah, Umar may have forbade them from riding the Turkish horses, that they might not become arrogant, on the basis, like we said, it is more proper not to ride the Arabian horses, which are of a high breed. And Imam Tibi also mentions that the governors were disallowed those things because of the type of arrogance that a person might get from there.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. باب العمل في القضاء والخوف من chapter العمل judging hearing الفصل الأول first chapter. عن أبي بكرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول لا يقضين حكم بين اثنين وهو غضبان متفق عليه. وقلت أبي بكرة يا الله بكل سيدة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم judge must not judge two people while he's distinguished.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is the chapter باب العمل في القضاء والخوف من. So the conducting the office of the qadi, the judge, and the fear of it. So basically we did all the different chapters with regard to how the subordinate should be, how the leader should be, and this year would be dealing with the office of the judge, right? In other words, how the office runs, or when a person can judge and not, etc. So the judge here, we have to understand, must merely rely on the Islamic code of law. You understand? On the Sharia, which is derived from the Quran and the Sunnah, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and also, like we mentioned, is ijtihad also is as his guide, right? So we find that his decision should not contravene the sources of Islamic law, right? That's when making a ruling, and also we find that the office, right, is very high and significant, that not everyone should try to attain it. And we mentioned all the warnings of it, right? As far as possible, one should try and avoid. If yes, the need, one can go, but we got all the differences that we mentioned. The first hadith here is when should one not basically make a ruling. Look at this hadith. عن أبي بكرة قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول لا يقضين حكم بين اثنين وهو غضبان. متفق عليه. So we find that Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala narrated that he heard Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say that the judge must not give judgment between two people, right? When he's angry, right? So we find a person when he's angry, he loses the ability to ponder, properly and decide properly, as that hunger disturbs him, which basically he's thinking at that moment. So we cannot obviously pass a fair judgment in that case. Also, no judgment, like we find not only hunger, with the other hadith also, and books of fiqh we find more. But not only hunger, but also when it's, for example, very cold or very hot, or the person is thirsty or is ill, all these type of things, yeah, right? It basically like gives a cloud of judgment, to an extent. And we find also judgment given on these conditions will, yes, we'll say it will be implemented, but with a dislike, right? Okay, so استبقى this حديث إن شاء الله continue tomorrow. لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك